Hey crafty friends, it's Lynn QV and I'm playing with paper and glue. I am so excited today to bring you the A to Z Christmas Challenge that is hosted by Rach and Bella Crafts and Journals in Time. It's a back to basic A to Z with lots of collaborators, some well-known that you will recognize and you already love their projects. And then there's some like me that are fairly new and don't have a huge following yet, but we've got some cool ideas and some really wonderful projects. So I am sharing the letter R with you today, and we are all using the Bumper A to Z Christmas Kit that Rachel and Rose have created. They each have made half of the kit, and you can buy them in their Etsy shops. I'll link those below. They're currently half off. Yeah, 50% off if you purchase in the month of November and get all your Christmas projects done with this absolutely adorable and beautiful kit. There really is something for everyone with the different styles that they used, and like I said, I'm very excited to be here. My letter is R, and I have chosen to create with red. That's right, we're going to play with some of the really cute images from the kits that are in the color red. It's going to be a pull tab waterfall. Let's take out our supplies. If you have seen any of my videos, you know that I like to kind of have everything ready to go or pretty close to it. So I have all my little rectangles and all my red images that I have either fussy cut and so forth. I am going to finish fussy cutting this one and just show you the simple method I use when I am fussy cutting. And this was inspired by Shari over at Graphic 45. So you do want a pair of fairly small, sharp scissors, but the scissors don't really do the work. Your other hand, in my case, my left hand, moves the paper around and lets the paper do the work, if that makes sense. So we're just turning it, moving it, and then the points of the scissors just don't move that much. And you can get in as close as you want, or if you prefer to do more of a kiss cut, where you leave a little border. Sometimes if the image doesn't have very distinct lines, or if it's terribly intricate, I just as soon do the kiss cut, and then I will use ink to help camouflage some of the residual white paper or whatever. Okay, so really we're pretty close there. Getting a little bit out. Okay, yeah, I'm good with that. All right. And then we will grab some ink. Sure we will. I'm standing instead of sitting, so I guess my body is trying to fight with me. So I do like to go in all different directions when I'm inking, so I get a nice coverage. And there, so that looks pretty good, right? Okay, we'll put it with the other images. One of the full-size pages is this adorable little boy playing on the ice, or maybe it's a little girl, I don't know. It's a child playing on the icy water in the snow and a red cap. And this is going to be the base. And we can either just close it all together and you've got a nice stiff insert for a journal, or you can leave it as two pieces and use it as a greeting card. So there's that. Then I took this other image, which had another little gnome on this side, cut that off and gave it 2 scores, just so that it has a little bit of room, because this is going to cover our mechanism. And then when you open it, we will see our waterfall. I printed a second one because we are going to cut out a piece to be the back, and I'll show you here what I mean by that. Here's my little prototype, and I just used some scraps I had and some things I hadn't cut out of the kit, like these adorable little gnomes. So we're going to come back to this in a minute. No, we're not. We're going to come back to it right now, because what I wanted to show you was you can attach the mechanism to a separate piece like this, and then just place it in your journal or on a card like this. Or you actually don't have to have this little back rectangle, because the mechanism itself only relies on this front piece, which anchors everything. So if we didn't use this backing piece, we would simply adhere these 2 pieces of the anchor directly on our surface, and the whole thing is going to work fine. I personally kind of like having this extra backing, and that's what we're going to do with this one. So I cut out an extra sheet of this image, and I have already marked where I want to make my cuts. So I'm going to go to the trimmer and get those. And I'm also going to use my image just for height. Okay, so I'm going to I'm actually going to go right above those trees. All right, and I am not going to ink these, because I want it to sort of blend in when we put it in, as opposed to stand out. Does that make sense? You know, inking can do so many things for you, and one of them is to distinguish between various elements. Okay, so we're going to put this one aside for now, and we are going to construct the actual mechanism. We cut a piece of 8.5 by 11 down to 2 1/16, so just barely over 2 inches, because I don't want it wider than my smallest piece. Does that make sense? Okay. So this is 11 inches. 5.5 would be the halfway point, but I'm going to go to 6 just to make the back a little bit longer, and we can always trim part if we need to. So I'm going to go here at 6 with a nice deep score, and then I'm going to go 3 spaces, which gives me 6 3/8, and 1 2 3, that's 6 3/4. So we've got 1 2 3. We need one more. That is 7 1/8. Okay, so we need a total number of lines that is the same number of elements we have that are going to flip. The bottom one does not need a second score, because that one is not going to move. You'll see what I mean here in a sec. grab my bone folder. I think I actually want this really nice heavy one. And sometimes I like to take a sharp edge. You can't see it from the camera, but I have a drawer that pulls out and it's got a nice sharp edge. There's my dog. Oh, the garbage men are coming today. That might be what he's yelling about. Just like that. Okay, so we want our folds to be nice and straight and even. We want to keep this top part in line with the bottom as well as we can. Obviously, we are not perfect, and we don't proclaim to be. So while I'm making sure that they're even, I'm going to go through with this bone folder, give a real nice score. It's easy for them to get off track, but we want to try to force them to stay on track, you know, just like our kids, right? And we want to break down those creases. Break down the paper at the creases so there's no question where they're going to fold. Make sure I'm going in both directions. So if it looks like I'm being really fussy about this, I kind of am. Even more so than usual. Yeah, I am a recovering perfectionist, and there are certain projects that we do that perfectionism kind of comes in handy. However, I do not strive for perfection. No, I strive for excellence. Do the best I can. All right, now I'm just going to take a peek, make sure that I've got these correct. Let's see how they're going to be placed. Yep, okay, I did them right. Now your pieces, these pieces, do not have to be all the same size. They can be, ooh, in fact, that one's going to have to go on the top. Oh, that one was made for the top, silly me. Okay. Yeah, they can be different sizes. They don't even have to be squares or rectangles. They can be other shapes if you want. But the important thing is that how we're going to adhere them. So we're actually ready to do that with one exception. I am going to call this little area right here, I'm just going to give it an A. Then I'm going to keep the A visible, and down here I'm going to do a P for pull. And we are going to use double-sided tape. We're going to adhere the tape right to the very edge of that crease without going over. And this is 1/4 inch. Yeah, I'm using 1/4 inch. You could use a little bit wider depending on how wide you did your scores. But if you'll recall, we did ours 3/8, so this is the crease is an 1/8 inch wider than my tape. And we can always trim these after. Okay, so we're going to get right across that edge without going over the crease. And if your tape goes beyond, no big deal. Let's go up to the next one. Making sure I didn't go over. Nope, I did not. Okay, let's turn it over so we can easily trim these. Oh, I forgot to tell you that since it's the Back to Basics, the A to Z Back to Basics Christmas Challenge, I do have a couple of just very basic tips for you. We already did one with two with the fussy cutting and the inking. And then this one, turn your project upside down so you can see where you need to trim. Right now this is upside down, and I don't want you to accidentally start adhering them here. We need the A to be right side up, okay? And then pull. We can't see right now because it will be folded under. Okay, now I'm going to make sure this is right side up. Yes, it is. And I am going to attach this and center it as best I can. Again, without going over. Okay. Now we're going to put Santa on next. Sometimes even with glasses, the close stuff is too far away. Now when we adhere this, we not only want to get it just below that line, we want to try to center it left to right as well. I didn't like where mine was, so I'm going to try it again. Okay. Now this one, some of them I put a backing of paper on them, and some I just folded in half. And we are going to go ahead and just use double-sided tape to stick this guy together. All right, and I am going to put it this side in the front. I'm going to try something a little different. I'm going to do just the tiniest line of glue underneath. Again, we're not going over on the top or the bottom. Let's see exactly where that crease is. Right there, okay. even, side to side. All right, last one. Again, we're going to give it just a little bit extra glue. There it goes. All right. That one, that one. This one has a tiny bit of sticky that's exposed. And so I'm just going to use one of these little anti-static pads. Kind of get it so it's not sticky. This one. Now, this one we did not do anything on the back because that is going to be adhered. All right, that is pretty much the mechanism, which when we pull is going to move the waterfall. We're going to take our little piece here and decide about where we want it. I forgot to cut a piece of this. So what I'm going to do right now is just measure where I want to cut here and here. And this is one of the prettiest papers in here, I think. The snowflakes, the gold snowflakes against the blue. Has a little bit of iridescence to it. Now we can. So remember, this piece is going to come down and sit on this piece. But the cover, well, I'm not going to put it down at the bottom. I want it kind of up a bit. So I'm actually going to trim that just a tiny bit more. Okay, so when we place it, yeah, it will pretty much get placed right about there. Yeah, good. So the next piece we need is basically a cover for our anchor. And this is going to finish anchoring it to our paper. So it can be pretty much any size you want, as long as it completely covers the A right there, and is wide enough that you can glue the sides down. What I'm going to do right now is just show you another little thing I like to do. A lot of us ink our edges, yes, and we've been doing that for some time, right? But I like sometimes to use paint, especially when I'm doing, ooh, got my one. Don't do that. Especially when I want a metallic and right on the edge. This paint does dry pretty fast. Okay, yeah, I just want a little bit of an edge. And then all right. We're going to place the glue to the top of where our A was. We don't want it on the mechanism. We just want it here. Okay, so we're looking just to secure the mechanism without actually stopping the movement. So let's go just to the edge. Okay. And we will go back now, get a little more ink in here. Again, we only want it on this piece. We don't want it at all on the backing piece. That's the front side of the anchor. And our A is now up against the underside of our band. Now, I intentionally left this long because I wanted to just fold it over. All right, so we shouldn't have too much wiggle room. We have a tiny bit, and that's fine. Let's see what happens when we pull. Yay! Okay, that is good. Now, we are going to cut our little V. Okay, yeah, so there is a little more play than I want. We'll fix that in a minute. First, let's get our V. Get the center point. We have anything coming up? Yeah, tiny bit there. I'm gonna just grab a piece of paper. Well, cardstock works best. Get a little bit of glue on the edge. Find the separation and get your glue inside there. And push. Oh. All right, let's just check the other side. Actually, that looks pretty good. But remember I said I want to stabilize this a little bit more. This is going to actually require something with a nice sharp pointed edge. Thin. Okay, I'm gonna go like that. And the main thing is we don't want any on the pull. We only want it on our anchor. Go over here to the other side. Okay, we can always go put more if we want in a little bit, but I think that's really going to be fine. Let's decorate these. I'm going to start at the bottom. Open, open. Okay. I've got this lovely candle that I'm going to put on the music. Okay. Let's go. Santa, I'm not decorating him anymore because he's plenty colorful. But what did he bring? He brought some toys. He brought this adorable paper doll set. The doll has a red jacket and hat, just like the little girl. Candy cane on the back. And lovely candy canes on the front. Then we can put the train on there. Then put this beautiful red R. It was gold, but since I'm doing R for red, I used some of my water-soluble pastels. Okay. Sometimes when I want to make sure something flattens while I adhere it, I like to use my brayer. It's going to go on here. I'm going to be doing a major overhaul in my craft studio that I hope to have done before the beginning of the year. I invite you to come back and check that out. All right. Now that part's done. We are going to take this because we put the backing on here, we can just adhere this directly. I'm going to try to match it up a little bit. I think that works. Oh, don't get any on the mechanism. Okay. Yeah, not bad. Yeah, so if we hadn't used the backing, you could only glue these pieces right here to the card. And that's why I like having that backing a little better. All right. Now we're going to put a little cover over it. I want to use the double stick. All right. We don't care, we don't mind if the pull tab shows, but we kind of don't want any of this to show. If you wanted, you could place a magnet before you cover that side, as well as right inside here. But it's not necessary. All right, almost done. We got a couple of finishing touches. Put this over here. I think I'm going to set it under my mat to let that get nice and flat. Let's take a peek at our finished project. Isn't that adorable? And then on the back we've got the cute little troll. So could easily be used as a greeting card or an insert in a journal. It is absolutely adorable in my opinion. And don't forget to check out all the other artists that are appearing this month with the A to Z Christmas Challenge, hosted by Rach and Bella Crafts and Journals in Time. And you still have time to go pick up the kit from which this project was made and all of the projects in the month of November that are being shown with, again, that hashtag A to Z Christmas Challenge. Thank you so much for joining me. Hit that like button if you think I deserve it. And I would love for you to subscribe to my channel as well as leave a comment if you like this project, if you learned something new, or if you just want to say hi. And please come again while we're playing with paper and glue.